Charging started.
Alex Brown has owned an electric vehicle for a decade and is part of an EV car club. He has a passion for electric cars stemming from his desire to combat climate change.
I had kind of an epiphany when I had my first child, right? And we had just purchased this home, and I was thinking about his future. And I was really concerned about it.
On Wednesday, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency announced its intention to raise emission standards in the U.S. for cars and trucks with a goal of improving air quality across the nation. The Biden administration claims the proposals would avoid nearly 10 billion tons of CO2 emissions, equivalent to more than twice the total U.S. CO2 emissions in 2022.
I think that it's a move into the right direction. I think it's kind of a shame we haven't done more.
The EPA projects that EVs could account for 67% of new light-duty vehicle sales in the U.S. by 2032. Presently, the number sits at around 7%.
It's ambitious. At the same time, we need these sorts of big, bold, ambitious moves in order to be able to address the crisis, the potential crisis of climate change.
In the EU countries as well as China, EV sales account for over 20% of auto sales, according to the firm Counterpoint Research and European Commission.
Globally, it is happening. Everywhere it's happening, all the countries. It's not that it's just happening in US. If you resist the change, others will take benefit of that.
The Biden administration touts Americans will save over $1 trillion at the pump, should the proposal be adopted. While there is optimism, there are looming concerns.
There's some uncertainty about how the industry is going to react. Are consumers going to want to buy these cars? Are the prices going to come down sufficiently? Are the minerals that go into the batteries that required for electric vehicles, are those going to be available? Are the charging stations going to be built in sufficient numbers?
Experts also say the auto industry must adapt to the new changes and shifts in labor. Another concern, over 60% of U.S. electricity is still derived from fossil fuels.
You're going to need to make sure that the supply of electricity is affordable, but also is not itself, creating bigger problems for the environment than this whole transition is trying to solve. So you really need to move the generation of electricity to renewables as well.
Renewable energy sources are growing in the United States, for the first time accounting for more electricity production than coal. Brown believes the only direction is to move forward with EVs.
I really think we're going to look back on these old gas cars and say, wow, that was smelly. How did people deal with all that air pollution back then?
The proposed new EPA greenhouse gas emission standards must undergo a public hearing before becoming official. The hearing will take place virtually on May 2nd and 3rd. Keith Kocinski for VOA News.